Among so many leaks and speculations, few have caused as much buzz as this one. Aerial images captured at Giga, Texas, suggest that the much-talked-about Tesla Model 2 is not only real, but is also much closer than previously thought. And what caught everyone's attention was not just the fact that a new model was on the way, but also the bold design, completely out of the norm that Tesla itself had been adopting. The first impression is clear. The Model 2 doesn't want to look like a cheap car. It wants to look like the future. And perhaps that's exactly what makes it so intriguing. Because when a compact car manages to draw more attention than a sports sedan, something out of the ordinary is happening. The compact crossover format immediately catches your eye. This style combines the best of both worlds, the practicality of an urban hatchback with the visual presence of an SUV. And it's not just a question of appearance. This choice brings practical benefits as well. The Model 2 measures just 4.2 meters long, which makes it ideal for parking in tight spaces and navigating congested streets. But contrary to what you'd expect from a smaller car, it surprises you with its width of 1.85 meters, ensuring more interior space and a firm stance on the road. It's as if it was specifically designed to balance agility and comfort without sacrificing style. And speaking of style, the front end is a direct provocation to convention. The grille has been completely eliminated, reducing aerodynamic drag and making way for an LED bar that runs across the entire hood, clearly inspired by the Cybertruck. This detail is not just aesthetic. It improves efficiency and gives the car the look of a futuristic movie vehicle. And the best part? This modern aesthetic is not limited to the front. The entire assembly was designed to look ahead of its time, but without falling into the exaggeration of conceptual prototypes. It's futurism with a touch of realism. The boldness continues in the more complete versions. The performance variant, for example, features something never before seen in a Tesla: butterfly doors. That's right, those doors that open upwards, in the best exotic supercar style. It's an unusual choice for a car that promises to cost less than $20,000, but it delivers an immediately striking visual effect. These doors are not just an aesthetic whim. They facilitate access in tight spaces and make the Model 2 stand out even in a parking lot full of EVs. Another highlight, and one that few expected to find in this segment, is the self-repairing paint. This technology, more common in luxury cars or military applications, allows small scratches to disappear on their own with the action of heat or sunlight. Did you forget where you parked and end up scraping against a tree? Just leave your car in the sun for a while, and the damage practically disappears. It's one of those solutions that seems like something out of a science fiction movie, but is now about to arrive in the garage of the average consumer. This type of innovation changes the way people care for and perceive their vehicles. It's interesting to note how the Model 2 has been designed to be more than just affordable. It's being positioned as a symbol of a new era in automotive design. Simple, functional, and yet full of hidden little luxuries. Even the door handles have been redesigned to be recessed and only extend automatically when the driver approaches. This isn't just about aesthetics, but also about aerodynamics and practicality. Everything seems to have been designed so that every detail has a purpose, and this gives the car a sense of built-in intelligence. The balance between boldness and usability is perhaps the most interesting aspect of this design. Instead of following the common path of compact electric cars, which often seem too minimalist or even simplistic, the Model 2 opts for a look that commands respect. It doesn't want to appear fragile or experimental. Quite the opposite. Its stance conveys security, modernity, and purpose. It's as if it were saying, without words, that the future has arrived and that it is not afraid to show itself. If the Model 2 makes it clear from the outside that it is not just another electric car, the inside practically reinforces this idea with even more boldness. But don't expect that kind of overly futuristic interior full of screens scattered all over the place and controls hidden in endless menus. Here, the idea is different: to simplify without impoverishing. Tesla decided to go for a truly minimalist interior, but with an accessible feel, and designed for people who are not used to complex interfaces. The result? An environment that conveys modernity and comfort, but with a visual language that anyone can understand. The steering wheel immediately catches your eye. It abandons the traditional circular shape and adopts a semicircular design, inspired by the yoke used in the Model S Plaid, but with a more user-friendly grip. The idea here is not to shock the driver with something ultra-technological, but to offer new ergonomics that better adapt to the view of the dashboard and comfort while driving. The physical buttons have been replaced by tactile controls with intuitive response, which especially pleases those who are tired of digital interfaces that confuse more than they help. It is a steering wheel that seems to have been molded for the hands of anyone, and not just technology enthusiasts. In the center of the dashboard, the star is the 13.7-inch screen with a brightness of 2,600 nits, enough to be read even in direct sunlight. It's not only large, but incredibly clear and resistant to scratches and reflections, which completely changes the experience for those who need to check the GPS or adjust settings while driving. This is especially useful for older people or those with some visual sensitivity. It's easy to read, the touch is responsive, and the interface was designed to be straightforward, the kind of screen that doesn't require a tutorial, just a curious finger and an open mind. One thing that few people expected to find in this segment is the presence of ventilated seats. Yes, heated and cooled seats, something more common in cars over $50,000, are present here. And it's not just a fancy thing. They help regulate body temperature, which is essential on long trips, or even in the daily life of those who live in very hot or cold regions. This type of comfort makes a real difference in the driving experience. It's not just an aesthetic innovation. It's a feature that makes the car more human. This interior was also designed with the intention of pleasing both technology lovers and technology freaks. The essential controls, turn signals, wipers, volume, are on intuitively positioned, tactile buttons. This means that even if you're not a fan of large screens or digital menus, you'll still be able to control the car with ease. It's as if the Model 2 is saying, "You don't have to be a techie to feel comfortable in here." This approach is rare and shows that Tesla understands that making a car accessible isn't just about making it cheaper. It's about making it understandable. The choice of a clean and functional layout extends to every inch of the cabin. There are no excess parts or unnecessary decorations. Every detail serves a purpose: to make the space easier, less complicated, and lighter. And curiously, this simplicity makes everything seem even more sophisticated. Instead of trying to impress with excess, the interior of the Model 2 impresses precisely by showing that it is possible to do a lot with a little, without compromising quality or comfort. Another interesting detail is the cabin acoustics. The soundproofing has been improved to reduce urban noise and make the experience quieter and more relaxing. This is not just a matter of luxury, but a feature that makes the journey more pleasant, especially for those who spend many hours behind the wheel. It is easier to talk inside the car, listening to music is more enjoyable, and even mental fatigue seems to decrease when external noise does not invade the interior space. It is one of those things that you only notice after using it, and then you can no longer live without it. Furthermore, the interior space has been carefully distributed. Despite the car's compact size, the engineers managed to create a surprisingly spacious feel. The roof has been raised slightly at the rear, which benefits tall passengers, and the seats have been positioned to offer maximum legroom without sacrificing trunk space. It's the kind of car that looks deceptively small and discreet on the outside, but on the inside feels much larger than expected. A perfect choice for those who live in a big city but need space for their day-to-day lives. As much as the Model 2's exterior and interior design are eye-catching, it's under the hood, or rather, under the floor, that this car's real strength lies. The big breakthrough is in the new generation of batteries, which not only changed the game in terms of performance, but also in terms of cost and sustainability. Forget traditional lithium-ion batteries, with their environmental controversies and high costs. The Model 2 brings a bold alternative to the table, the aluminum-ion battery. And as strange as it may seem at first glance, this choice makes perfect sense when you look at what really matters in the daily use of an electric car. This new technology uses aluminum instead of more expensive and scarce elements like cobalt and nickel. This has direct implications for production. Aluminum is much more abundant, easier to recycle, and significantly cheaper. In other words, this change is not just a technical curiosity. It represents a real drop in the final cost of the vehicle, which helps explain how the Model 2 can sell for less than $15,000. At the same time, using this material makes the manufacturing process cleaner, reducing the environmental footprint that has long weighed on criticism of electric vehicles. And don't think that this cost-cutting compromises efficiency. Quite the opposite. Aluminum-ion batteries promise energy density equivalent to lithium batteries, but with important practical advantages. They heat up less, are more stable, and have longer life cycles. This means that the Model 2 will be able to maintain its autonomy and performance for much longer, without the drop in efficiency that usually appears after a few years of use. For those who are considering an electric car as a long-term investment, this detail makes all the difference. The Model 2's estimated range is up to 350 miles, about 560 kilometers, on a single charge. That number puts it ahead of many more expensive competitors, including options from Hyundai, Volkswagen, and even Tesla itself, like the base Model 3. What makes this figure even more impressive is the Model 2's projected price tag, less than half the price of some of these rivals. This completely changes the logic of the market, because now it's not just about choosing an EV. It's about choosing an EV that delivers twice as much for much less. But innovation doesn't stop at autonomy. Recharging time is also something worth paying attention to. Connected to Tesla's new V4 superchargers, the Model 2 promises to charge from 15% to 80% in just 18 minutes. This speed is comparable to the time it takes to fill up a combustion car and then pay at the convenience store. It's the kind of evolution that solves one of the biggest mental blocks for the average consumer: the anxiety of waiting for the car to charge. Here, this problem practically disappears. This charging performance is only possible thanks to the state-of-the-art liquid cooling system used in the batteries. Inspired by supercars like the Ferrari SF90, the Model 2's system ensures that the cells remain at the ideal temperature, even under maximum load. This prevents overheating, increases battery life, and maintains consistent performance, even on very hot or very cold days. It's a solution that is usually expensive, but is now being made available to the general public, without losing efficiency. Another indirect benefit of choosing aluminum-ion batteries is in logistics. These packs are lighter, which means the car needs less energy to move, and less energy expended means more range per charge. At the same time, the lower weight improves handling, acceleration, and even braking. It's as if an engineering decision inside the battery cell ends up influencing almost every aspect of the driving experience. If the Tesla Model 2 already seemed promising up until now, it's in the performance department that it really shows its teeth and surprises. Because as affordable as the proposal may be, Tesla doesn't seem willing to deliver a timid or limited car on the asphalt. In fact, what the leaks and estimates indicate is just the opposite. A car that not only keeps up with traffic with ease, but also manages to bring a smile to the face of those who step on the accelerator. And all this starting from a basic version, with just one electric motor. The entry-level Model 2 features rear-wheel drive and a single motor. But don't be fooled by its simplicity. Acceleration from 0 to 100 km/h should be around 6.2 seconds. For comparison, a Toyota Corolla 2.0 petrol engine takes approximately 7.5 seconds to do the same. In other words, the Model 2 is not only cheaper to maintain, but also delivers more agility. In an urban setting, this advantage makes a real difference when overtaking, entering busy avenues, or simply feeling that sensation of immediate response under your foot. But if the performance of the basic version is already interesting, what can we say about the performance version? Here things change completely. With 2 electric motors and all-wheel drive, the Model 2 now delivers around 370 horsepower. This allows the car to go from 0 to 100 km/h in just 4.9 seconds, a number that puts this affordable compact side by side with much more expensive models, such as the Ford Mustang Mach-E GT or the Kia EV6 GT line. And most impressively, delivering all this for less than half the price. This performance, however, is not just about speed. The all-wheel drive system ensures greater safety on curves, starts on wet roads, and stability on different types of terrain. This makes the Model 2 a versatile car, not only for the city, but also for those who need to travel or drive frequently. The feeling of control increases, and with it comes more confidence when driving. It's as if the car is always glued to the ground, ready to respond to any command with precision. Another factor contributing to this sharp handling is the new low-ratio steering. With just 2.4 turns lock-to-lock, the Model 2 requires less effort for low-speed maneuvers, such as parking and tight U-turns. This feature, combined with the vehicle's compact size, makes parking in small spaces an almost pleasurable task. It's the kind of technical detail that goes unnoticed in the specifications, but in everyday life, completely transforms the driving experience. And there's no ignoring the suspension system. The Model 2 will feature adaptive air suspension, a feature usually reserved for premium vehicles like the Model S or large luxury sedans. This technology adjusts the car's ride height and stiffness in real time, based on the terrain and driving style. On bumpy roads, the system softens the impacts. At higher speeds, the car automatically lowers to improve aerodynamics and stability. This kind of technical refinement in an entry-level car is something almost unheard of today. Now, imagine combining all of this with an efficient regenerative braking system, which recharges the battery every time the driver takes their foot off the accelerator. This not only increases range, but also reduces wear on conventional brakes, further reducing maintenance costs. And when the driver needs to stop quickly, the electronic brake distribution system works in conjunction with the all-wheel drive to keep the car steady and balanced. It's a cohesive and well-thought-out package that shows how much Tesla wanted to deliver real performance without frills. After coming all this way with surprising autonomy and performance worthy of premium models, the Tesla Model 2 still has another ace up its sleeve, and it may be the most ambitious of all. The vehicle arrives prepared for a new level of autonomous driving, with a technology package that puts Tesla once again ahead of the competition. And the most interesting thing about all this is that this technology is not reserved for the most expensive models. The promise is clear: to make the future of automated driving accessible to everyone, even for those who are buying the brand's cheapest electric car. The Model 2 will be equipped with the new Hardware 4.5, a direct evolution of Tesla's previous systems. This platform features a set of ultra-high-definition cameras, with 5K resolution and extended range spread around the vehicle. This means that the car will have a clearer and more detailed view of the environment around it, even in adverse conditions such as heavy rain or fog. But the key point is not just the image, it is what the car does with it. The onboard intelligence can interpret objects, movements, and risks in real time, which gives the system a significant advantage when making quick decisions. And to make this interpretation even more accurate, The latest generation of 4D radar comes into play. This technology goes beyond traditional radar, as it detects not only distance and speed, but also the direction and elevation of surrounding objects. In other words, the car knows if a cyclist is coming down the street, if a dog is about to run across, or if a vehicle in front is going to make a sharp turn. This level of perception is close to the way a human sees the environment, but with the added bonus of not blinking, not getting distracted, and not getting tired. Combining these elements, the Model 2 will be able to operate in Level 3 autonomous driving mode on highways. This means that the driver will be able to take their hands off the wheel and their eyes off the road in certain conditions,